Hello, welcome to day 14 of 365 days of my raw journey of suspending disbelief. I am blown away by the energy that is still just coming in with this challenge, with this experiment. And I don't know which one is better to call it. Like, it really is an experiment. And it also is really challenging, right? So I'm just going to keep calling it both, probably. But I have a couple of quick things to share today. One is I was inspired and guided to go live on my personal profile today, which is something that I never do. I've never intentionally thought it through and thought, hey, I'm like going to avoid doing that, or I have some sort of a fear around doing that. I didn't really have a fear with that, but I had not done it, right? It was just something I hadn't done. I think that I was kind of looking at it as like I show up in my private group and give value, and the only place that I'm willing to share my live energy, because I don't go live a whole lot. It's not my favorite medium or whatever to show up, right? So I think I was just like, I'm saving those times for my private group, for my people, right? And I don't know. I hadn't, like I said, I hadn't really thought it through. But today, one of the things that came up for me was that a lot of people were thinking, I like from multiple sources had gotten this impression or directly had it said to me that people were assuming that I use plant medicine to journey in my shamanic practice. And that is not the case. And so the thing that kicked off the whole, I'm going to go live on my personal profile, was that some of the people who had mentioned it are not in my private groups. And so I wanted to be able to inform other people than just the ones in my private space. And while I did that, I had other things that came up that were like, yeah, you should share this too. So number one was showing up in my Power Paint. So for any of you who haven't seen me live in my Power Paint, I will link this live video that I did, which is on my personal profile. So it is public. It's for anybody to see. And I was guided to also share that piece of me, that I am showing up in this way online. A lot of people have been cheering me on with the Power Paint. A lot of people who have been like, it's so awesome, it looks amazing, you know, this, that, and the other thing. And I have realized that not only is it me showing up as like my higher self, my most fully embodied wild feminine self, it's also one more creative outlet for me. So I have an overflow of creativity all the time as the type of person that I am, the human design. I'm a manifesting generator, the ADHD thing, like I have so much creativity and I cannot get it all out quick enough, right? So it's just one more creative outlet for me to put this paint on my face and do them differently every single time and just create like a piece of art on my face every time when I do it. And I really, really love it. And I had somebody today actually say, like, I don't even want to call that makeup. Like, that is freaking art. And I was like, yes, like that just felt so good because it's my expression of my inner self. So I absolutely loved that. I loved sharing that today. I actually wasn't nervous until after the fact. And it was funny because like my dad commented on the post and I was like, oh my gosh, like he just saw me in this. And it's not that I would like hide it from him, but he had just never had, and I've never had like a conversation around it with him or anything like that. And I was like, wow. And it just kind of made me realize, right, like how wide open that left me. And again, like I'm not fearful of that. And if anybody wants to slam me on there, like I can handle that. I'm not afraid of that. I've never been one to really care what people think about me, but it was funny because it was like an after the fact exercise in self-trust, I guess. When I actually did it, like there was no fear. There was nothing like preventing me from doing it. Anyway, I will share the link to that for anyone who wants to see me in my power paint, who wants to go check out that live that I did explaining how I do shamanic journey and why I'm showing up in power paint. And even I was also guided to officially open the doors and launch my Wild Feminine Leaders Inner Circle, which is a mastermind that I have put together to help women who are truly wild at heart and are kind of hidden in the shadows right now and want to fully discover and befriend and then embody their higher wild self. Because I do believe that all women have a wild side. All people really, but especially women. And it's so buried in our culture. And so I'm not going to go super into detail on that. I did talk about it on the live. I was guided to like officially launch it there, which I haven't even fully done in my private spaces. So that was different too, a different approach for me to announce it publicly first. Usually I do it in my private spaces first and then start sharing it around. So that was different as well. But absolutely trusting that and suspending disbelief that that was wrong in any way, shape, or form. I absolutely trust myself and my inner guidance and my guides, my spirit team to lead me right, that I'm always in the right place. I'm always exactly where I need to be, right? So that was the first thing that I wanted to share from today. Another was I was chatting with Kelly in our unofficial mastermind chat, and one of the things that she said just really stood out to me. So like we've been repeating, right, these lines that are so, so powerful. My success is inevitable. I'm always exactly where I need to be. I am suspending disbelief. You know, these are really powerful statements. And she said, my desires are close. Because she was talking about how like the universe would not put this in front of me if my desires were not coming. Like they're on the way. My desires are close. And I just thought, wow, that is a really, really powerful sentence also. So I am adding that to my daily repertoire of my success is inevitable and I am always exactly where I'm supposed to be. I'm suspending disbelief and my desires are close. I see proof everywhere. And you guys, I really see proof everywhere of my desires coming in, of everything manifesting. The people that I'm being connected with online are, I don't even know the right words to use for this because I don't think anyone is above anyone else, but they're like a higher subset of potential clients, I guess you could say, ones who can afford the programs that I'm offering, or ones who are already making really big impact, and that I know that I could like exponentially grow that impact that they're making with the influence that I could bring. Things like this, right? There's just little things that I'm starting to notice where I'm just going like, wow, I'm really noticing, and my desires are close. I see proof everywhere. So I'm totally adding that to my daily things that I'm saying. I also There was one more, and now I'm like totally blanking. Um, oh, actually, there was two more. So one was just I loved on Jess's Telegram tonight, listening to her. She was talking about how we do things, not what we're doing. So, how we do things matters, not what we're actually doing. And I really felt that it resonated really deeply for me. Tonight, my two younger kids are at their dad's, and I was just home with my oldest. And um, Monday night is her night to cook. She's learning to cook, and she's, to be honest, a lot of the time better at it than I am. But when she got home from school, she was like, "Can I make cake?" And I was like, "Go for it. I don't care." And she was like, "Yeah, I don't really feel like doing it right now." And I was like, "Well, if you wait too much longer, it'll be supper time." And I was like kind of half jokingly said, "We could just eat cake for supper." And, her face lit up. And I was like, yeah, I mean, why not? And I mean, we all know why not. That's totally unhealthy. It's not a good choice. It's not what a parent should do when teaching their child. Let me tell you, this kid eats so well. Like, she's my best eater. She will eat anything healthy, just about. And has never been an issue in that way. But she's also 13, and she's, hormonal, and chocolate is life at this point in her life, and like having cake for supper was like, oh my gosh, my life is the best kind of a look on her face. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. Okay, let's have cake for supper. So you guys, we literally had cake for supper. And I ate a carrot, like just a whole carrot. I just peeled it and ate it right before, because I was like, I'm going to need some nutrients. Cake is not going to suffice. So I ate a carrot. And then she made these, like, she took cake batter and made cake muffins. And we split it. We each had 6 of them, like totally pigged out. And then she was like, "Can I make the other cake that we have?" And I was like, "You know what? Go for it." And it was lemon cake. And you guys, I freaking love lemon cake. Anyways, she made this lemon cake. But in the meantime, while she was waiting for it to cook, she was like, "I'm hungry." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, because, we haven't eaten any nutrients." And I was like, "Eat a tomato." And I was kind of joking, but she was like, "Oh, yeah, I want a tomato." And so she just ate a tomato. And then when she went to eat the lemon cake after, she was like, "I'm not really in the mood for this. Like, it's not really hitting the spot." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you just had some nutrients." And she and I both just burst out laughing, because I'm always telling her, even though she is, like I said, she's like my best eater, she is in a phase of life where she wants junk food more, and it's totally understandable. And I'm always telling her, like, no, you can't just take that junk for lunch. Like, you need to bring something that has nutrition in it. You need to have like brain food when you're going to school, and all of these things, right? I'm always spouting the mom stuff. And it was just so funny, because she's like literally just ate this tomato and was like, "I don't want cake anymore," because that tomato felt so much better in her body, right? And it was just such it was so aligned with what Jess was saying, because she was saying that it's not what we do, and in this case, it's not what we eat, it's how we eat it. It's the energy that was behind all of this, was like a moment of her and I bonding over stupid eating habits, or choosing nutrition over, the flavor, like just the cake, the sweet, the treat. And the fact that I wasn't forcing the nutrition on her, and I was like, whatever, eat cake, I don't care, like, we're not going to die from having one crappy meal for dinner. And and then she ended up choosing the healthy thing and being like, "Yeah, this is not what I need right now." And it was a great, actually, parenting lesson in the end, because she ended up realizing that she did want the nutrients. versus the treats. So that was fun as well. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is that we have tomorrow a new moon in Taurus. And for any of you who follow astrology at all or who are into this kind of stuff, whether you know about it already or not, new moon in Taurus is a very like grounded, earthy energy of the natural abundance that there is in the world. And so going into this new moon, for anyone who is feeling like, you know, you haven't reached the goals that you want to yet, you are not as far ahead as you'd like to be, or you're not as far along as you'd like to be, now is the time to set the intentions, to plant the seeds for what you want to come in. And this is going to be a slow and steady energy, but it is like firm foundations. So the intentions and the seeds that you plant at this point are going to be really extra effective. And for anyone who knows a little bit more about astrology, if you want to look at what house in your chart that Taurus is in, it will tell you which area of your life, especially, that this energy is going to be building a foundation for. So for me, for example, Taurus is in my 6th house, which is, I'm going to have to pull it up because I don't have this stuff memorized, but yeah, Taurus is in my 6th house, which is like work, health, service, self-improvement. So like routines, things like this. And so for me, one of the things, like I am going to plant intentions and seeds of financial abundance and success and all of that. But also I'm creating this balanced foundation where my health, my wellness, my routines need a firm foundation built as well, right? If I'm going to handle and hold abundant financial success in the amounts that I am calling in, I need to have the other side of the coin where I have the physical health, the wellness and the good like exercise and eating routines and all of that. Like, so funny, especially talking about eating cake for supper tonight. Guys, that's not something I usually do. But anyways, the point being that I'm going to choose to plant the seeds for and make the plans for not just the money, right? We need to figure out what specifically this energy is going to be focused on in our charts and put the intentions in place there as well. So I really loved looking at that tonight. I'm going to be sitting journaling about that tomorrow more, pulling cards around the new moon. Like this is my routine. I always do. But I thought I would share that as well since it was coming up and I had some great info shared with me today. Again, Kelly, she's like our researcher of the group and she just always has such good information to share with us. I just love it. And okay, there was one more thing. I'm going to hit 20 minutes again. I know I am. There was one more thing that I did notice and I wanted to bring this up because I have a feeling that the two things go hand in hand. So I have noticed a drastic drop off in, I don't know what you call it, listenership of this podcast. And I'm not offended. I don't care. Like originally I started this to be like just a personal journey. I was doing it for myself to record it. I was sharing it with 3 people, right? So there's no feelings around that whatsoever of like abandonment or people aren't, you know, paying attention to me or whatever. But what I thought, the thought that I had around it was that I think that this is the point where, you know, there's like a couple of marked drop-offs in trust, in suspending disbelief, when you try to set a new goal, when you try to set new intentions, where a lot of people, it'll be like, you know, that 1 to 3 day mark where they will be going like, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And they will very, very quickly burn out from that and be like, I don't really believe it's coming. And in this case, I have been holding that belief in a way that other people can kind of glide along on my coattails per se. So like they could literally just listen to me and glide along on my belief instead of on their own. And what I'm noticing is, okay, so today is day 13, 14, right? I'm losing track, and I said it at the beginning and then I forgot it immediately. Today's day 14. So that's 2 whole weeks. And I noticed a drop off after day 10. So, and I kind of thought it was the weekend, and it still very well could be, right? I'm not saying that it won't pick back up again or anything like that. But what I am thinking is the corresponding relationship to to the listenership is people set their intentions alongside mine. They decided they were going to suspend disbelief alongside me, do this experiment with me, challenge themselves with me. And they held on to that belief for about 10 days, and then it dropped off. So they may not have completely given up yet, but they're not as actively engaged, right? They're not as actively on it. So here's what I want to point out with this. It's not like, again, this is not like a guilt trip. Oh, not enough people are listening, or, people have stopped listening. I really don't care if you listen, if you don't listen. That's fine. My point here is to say, if you are one of those people who dropped off after day 10 and eventually you come back, because we do, right? We come back to our goals and we're like, maybe I could start that again. And we're thinking about it. So then I could see somebody coming back and starting to listen again. So if you are that person and you're listening to this right now, I want you to take a more active role in your own destiny. And wow, that was like 22 minutes, 22 seconds right when I said that. So take this challenge seriously. Take a more active role in your own destiny, in your own success. Okay. Suspend that disbelief more strongly. Do something more actively aligned to get yourself to the point where you are upholding your own energy in the way that I'm doing it. Okay. And we're all very different. So how we do it is different. Kelly is writing a blog post a day, right? There are days where she doesn't have it and she doesn't get that blog post out, and then she might get 2 out one day. There are days where I don't record on time and I don't get it out that day. I get it out eventually. The energy is still the same. The things I want to talk about are still the same. Jess is recording just a voice note on Telegram, and it's perfect for her. And the blog is perfect for Kelly. And this has been a perfect one for me because my voice, my words, my way of explaining things to people has always been very powerful. And so this is my medium. I love to write too, but this is my medium for this. And whatever yours might be, whether it's writing in a journal, just writing it down every night, making it a non-negotiable thing that once daily you are going to record your progress on this journey, and just do it. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be a lot. It can be point form. It can be something that you share with the world or that you keep private. It doesn't matter what that looks like. But if you were sort of passively following along and then dropped off between day 3 and day 10 and stopped listening for a while and then came back and you're hearing this, I'm challenging you outright right now to start taking a more active role in your own success. It is great to follow along with me. It is great to read Kelly's blogs. It's great to listen to Jess's Telegram messages. But if you are not doing your own, in some way, shape, or form, maintenance of your own energy, you will drop off. So I want you today, whenever it is that you're listening to this, whether it's a year from now, whether it's a month from now, whether you're listening every damn day when I drop these, I want you to commit. And you can commit in the comments of this episode. There are, like, in the show notes, there's always a question where you can answer. Drop your commitments in there. I would love to know how many people are committed and listening, but I would also especially love to know how many people are committed to their own success, who are suspending disbelief and who trust that their success is inevitable. Inevitable, you guys. It cannot fail. We cannot fail here. When you suspend disbelief and you stick to that, you cannot fail. You can only succeed. Things can only get better. Things can only improve. And when you are in that space mentally, the shifts that happen are astronomical. And they may not seem huge when I'm talking about them on here, but you guys, energetically, when you're the one feeling it, you will feel that difference. You will know that the changes are happening. And I know it at a soul level that the changes are happening in my life. And I'm so, so excited. And even on my down days, like yesterday, it was Sunday, I was relaxing, I was doing whatever the hell I wanted. I wasn't working, I wasn't actively aiming for my goals or doing things towards my goals. I still felt that energy of my success is inevitable. Nothing is going to stop me. And I want nothing to stop you either. I am sharing this out loud in a public forum type way so that I can inspire others to not give up on their success, to trust that it's coming, to know that their success is inevitable, to suspend disbelief for long enough to let your manifestations come in, for that the electrons from the outside edges of the atom to get worked through so that you can get to the goodness inside, to that success that you're aiming for. You guys, I believe in this so, so firmly with every ounce of my being. And I want to know that you're committing too. I want you to commit to yourself. If you don't want to share it with the world and you don't want to put it in the comments, don't. That's fine. If you don't want to keep listening, you don't have to keep listening. That's fine. But if you are suspending disbelief in your own life, then take an active role in your success. Track it for yourself. Bring yourself back to it every night before bed and just say, like, reflect on your day. What were my challenges? What were my successes? What's the evidence that my success is inevitable? And look for it. Actively look for that evidence, because when you do, you'll see it. I promise you'll see it. And again, I really don't care if this podcast fizzles out and nobody keeps listening. I'm going to keep on showing up and doing it, because that's how committed I am to my success, to suspending disbelief for myself. And if I can inspire someone else with that, that means the world to me. But it's not required in order for me to succeed. So you guys, I really hope that this helped to inspire you in some way, shape, or form today. I would love to know if it did. I am always open on social media, especially Facebook, to chat about it, to talk about it, share your wins, you guys, celebrate them, be grateful for the things that you have, all of these things that we are all told all the time, but do them. If you don't actually do them, they don't work. Okay? If you don't suspend disbelief fully for a year, then you're not going to have those massive growth wins that come from suspending disbelief fully for a year. So I really invite you, I really challenge you to step up for your own success. And, be in the room, whether that's listening to me, reading Kelly's blog, listening to Jess, or sharing your own journey in some way, shape, or form on social media, on a podcast, on YouTube, whatever it is that looks like for you, do it. Do it, because it's your life and you get to choose. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I'm at like the 30-minute mark now. Sorry for going long, but when I noticed that today, I was like, oh man, there's the people falling off. So anyways, I love you guys. Whether you've given up or not, whether you're suspending disbelief with me or not, I love you. I believe in you. And just remember, our success is inevitable. We are always in the right place at the right time. I will talk to you all tomorrow.